Hi everyone, this is Sarfraz from Aristotle Prep, and we are looking at question 119 from the OG 13 Critical Reasoning chapter. So the stimulus says the earliest Mayan pottery found at Kolha in Belize is about 3000 years old. So the earliest Mayan pottery is about 3000 years old. Recently, however, 4500-year-old stone agricultural implements were unearthed at Kolha. These implements resemble Mayan stone implements of a much later period, also found at Kola. Moreover, the implements' designs are strikingly different from the designs of stone implements produced by other cultures known to have inhabited the area in prehistoric times. Therefore, there were surely Mayan settlements in Kola 4500 years ago. The argument is very simple. It is saying you found some instruments, utensils, whatever, from 4500 years ago, which were and you found them in Kola, and the earliest Mayan pottery has also been found in Kola, and uh, and the designs of these instruments are different from what was used by other cultures. So these instruments were most likely used by Mayan itself. So then Mayan settlements must have been in Kola 4500 years ago, because these utensils or whatever have been found date back to 4500 years ago. So you have to weaken the argument now. So you have to show some other way in which either these could have come there, or there could have been some goof up in the dating process and they may not actually be 4500 years old. Something on those lines should weaken the argument, I think. So I'll go through the options. There says ceramic ware is not known to have been used by the Mayan people to make agricultural implements. So it doesn't weaken anything if you ask me. B says carbon dating of corn pollen in Kola indicates that agriculture began there 4500 years ago. Does that strengthen the argument? It might, but it doesn't weaken anything. Actually, it's irrelevant if you ask me. C says archaeological evidence indicates that some of the oldest stone implements found at Kola were used to cut away vegetation. Why they were used, how do I care? So D says successor cultures at a given site often adopt the style of agricultural implements used by earlier inhabitants of the same site. This looks interesting. Now be very clear, the argument is basically concluding that Mayan settlements were there in Kolha 4500 years ago because of those stone implements which are of a type only used by Mayans. So it concludes that if you found those stone implements from 4500 years ago, Mayans must have been there 4500 years ago. But D gives you another explanation for that, which is that there might have been some other culture in that area in Kola 4500 years ago. And when Mayans came to that region much later, maybe, they adopted the agricultural implement style which was already in use at that time by the older culture, not by Mayans. So that's what D says. So D gives you another explanation for why it is possible that those stone implements may not have been actually used by Mayans. They might have been used by some other civilization or culture. And when Mayans came there, they adopted the same design. So D could actually weaken the argument. It's a difficult one, not an easy one. E says many religious and social institutions of the Mayan people who inhabited Kola 3000 years ago relied on a highly developed system of agricultural symbols. Doesn't tell you anything. So D is the option that weakens the argument. It's a difficult question, very, very difficult. I would give it a 4.5 on a scale of 5. Have a nice day.